Welcome to Key Tech. Please subscribe our channel before you watch the videos. Since March, Russia has been cut off by U.S. companies Intel, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Qualcomm. These big companies have suspended marketing and technical services in Russia. Companies that cut off supply are among the best in every industry, which has brought a huge impact on Russia's economy. Russia's semiconductor industry has been hit the hardest. 95% of Russia's chips are imported from abroad. Once the supply of chips is interrupted, the domestic high-tech industry will stagnate. In addition, since Apple announced that Apple Pay will be withdrawn from the Russian market, some subway stations in Russia have begun to experience small-scale traffic jams. The Russian region was forced to switch to the local network due to the interruption of communication. Google has also suspended the use of BQ's Android system in Russia. As we all know, the current mobile phone operating system can not only have Android and iOS. iOS is a closed-loop system. Only Apple can use it. If the Android system is closed, the manufacturer of this phone will become a brick. Google also announced that the Google Play service in Russia was terminated and Russian consumers could not download or purchase paid software on Google's app. Faced with this situation, the Russian government took corresponding countermeasures, adjusted the current market situation, and appealed to those companies that were out of stock. Said that if some companies did not comply with their own rules, they would take the necessary steps to save the country's economy. Now the consequences of U.S. companies' supply cuts have been revealed. Google has repeatedly refused to remove the Russian ban from YouTube and was fined 7.2 billion rubles for promoting false content and spreading fake and shoddy products. For Google's unreasonable infringement, the district court, based on Article 13.41 5 of the Federal Code of Administrative Violations for continuous infringement caused by the failure of the owner of the network resource to delete its data, Google will be fined 5% of its annual turnover, a total of 7.2 billion rubles, about $100 million. The time for automatic payment to Google in Russia has ended some time ago, but Google did not take the initiative to pay. Authorities have filed legal proceedings against Google, recovering a fine of 7.2 billion rubles. According to the Russian FSSB's verdict by the Tagansky court in Moscow. Russia's communications watchdog Roskomnadzor said Google's public posting of false information on YouTube has sparked 2 administrative lawsuits. In addition to Google, Apple has also been fined after Apple Pay was removed from the Russian market. It was jointly sued by the local court some time ago, requiring Apple to pay 90 million rubles and restart the Apple Pay business in Russia. The Russian regional law firm Chernyshov, Lukoyanov and partner said that the suspension of Apple Pay in Russia is a violation of local consumer rights. Nasdaq NFLX released its financial statements for the first quarter of 2022. The company's results showed that Netflix's global number of paying subscribers fell by 200,000 in the first quarter. Netflix said it had dropped 700,000 global paid subscribers by discontinuing its service in Russia and phasing out all paid subscribers in Russia. IBM reported first quarter results for fiscal 2022, reporting third quarter revenue of $14.197 billion and net profit of $733 million, a 23% decrease from $955 million in the same period last year. IBM's chief financial officer James Kavanaugh said the Russian moratorium has costed hundreds of millions of dollars. Russia also announced a decision alongside the fines for the companies. Those companies that are out of stock will be listed as untrustworthy companies and will not have any cooperation in the future, and those companies that have withdrawn from the Russian market will also be nationalized and then auctioned. If a company wants to establish a certain market abroad, it needs to invest a lot of money. If it is acquired, then the efforts of these companies will be in vain. The cost of this is incalculable. It is almost impossible for them to gain a firm foothold in the local market in the future. The gaps left by those companies that have been cut off from supply in the Russian region will gradually be filled by local companies or other companies. However, while U.S. companies are pulling out of Russia, Russia has launched a plan to invite Chinese suppliers to enter on a large scale to replace Western suppliers who have withdrawn from the Russian market due to the implementation of comprehensive sanctions against Russia. Russia's Union of Asian Industrialists and Entrepreneurs said that due to the withdrawal of Western companies, Russia's imports of chemical raw materials, equipment and components required for manufacturing and semiconductor products such as chips have been blocked. The decrease in imports from Western countries has led to an unmet demand for related products in Russia. Imports from Asian countries such as China can fill the demand gap and replace Western suppliers, thereby promoting the development of the Russian economy. The chairman of the alliance, Mankiewicz, said that in addition to opening up the market to China in the above-mentioned fields, Chinese companies can quickly seize the Russian market in many areas that lack Western suppliers, such as road transportation, food processing, special machinery and equipment, restaurants, hotels, clothing and cosmetics, etc. The market is also very promising. Russian companies that choose to cooperate with Chinese suppliers will also receive various preferential and assistance policies, such as helping these companies provide transportation and logistics and enjoy customs clearance convenience when importing Chinese goods. In terms of finance, cooperative banks will also payment security is provided. The large-scale withdrawal of Western companies is both an opportunity and a challenge for Chinese companies to enter the Russian market. For example, judging from the previous total bilateral trade volume between China and Russia among China's foreign trade partners, ASEAN still ranks first, followed by the European Union and the United States. From January to July this year, China's foreign trade with the above-mentioned three parties has maintained rapid growth. The growth rate of trade with ASEAN and the United States has exceeded double digits. Although the trade with the EU has been affected by decoupling, the growth rate has still reached 8.9%. From this point of view, Chinese enterprises obviously did not regard Russia as the main market for development, but more developed markets in ASEAN, the European Union, the United States, and other countries and regions. So for Chinese companies, if they want to enter the Russian market in a big way, they need to do a lot of preparations. For example, the evaluation of cooperation prospects, the business model of cooperation with Russian companies, the sustainability issues brought about by the cost and risk of cooperation projects and related legal support, etc. Even more important is the possibility of facing sanctions from the United States and Europe. For example, in the purchase of oil, some Chinese companies will take a cautious attitude in the face of Western sanctions. Thank you for watching our video. After watching the video, how do you think about the development of semiconductors in the world? You can put your opinions and ideas in the comments below. We will keep on uploading new videos, so your subscribed and likes will encourage us to create new videos.